Hello, everybody. My name is Eric Lee Lewis. I'm the Indie Luchador. And today I'm joined by a man who I've always wanted to do a solo interview with. I've never, ever gotten the chance. This is a developer that I absolutely love. Like, I love the team. I do. But this man,
hmm
this man, Evan, this man,
Yeah, yeah.
I love him. I can't help it. Like, super nice guy. Best hair in the
Yeah.
business.
Thanks, man. And I love you too, dude. It's always been rad. And I'm sure I have done an interview. Have I not done an interview by
No,
myself
no.
before? There's always been like Ruan here or someone,
Yep.
um, you know,
I think
bogarting the situation.
last time it was you were basically
And
heading up the
Richard.
interview, and Richard and somebody else.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, that happened.
Even though, funny story, Mr. Evan Greenwood. I never finished that. Mr. Evan Greenwood.
Word.
I never did I tell you that I got a lot of interest in a lot of people saying, "Why have you never interviewed Shaz?
Y- yeah.
You should interview Shaz." And I'm like, everybody really wants Shaz for a reason. I don't know why.
I mean, she's charming, you know.
Is she
Uh,
now?
she's more eloquent than most of us, I think. I don't want to
Shaz,
say she's the most eloquent, but she probably is.
I'm starting to wonder if that must run in the family. I'm guessing.
She's not related to me.
No.
That,
Shh. Everybody thinks she's your sister. Is the joke.
okay. She was a sister-in-law for a while, hence the surname.
Okay. I was gonna say everybody thinks that she's your actual sister, and everybody's like, "Yo, get. Why do you got Evan? Why not Shaz?" And it's like, I
You
think
got the
people
rubbish Greenwood, right? Just like there's this better Greenwood out there, and you're just not sinking your line deep enough, I guess.
deep enough. I'm sorry. It's gonna be really hard to do a lot of this. We'll get to that eventually. So,
Okay.
Evan, you are known for a game called BROFORCE. We've talked about this game a billion times throughout the years. Even when you
Yeah.
weren't on, I've talked about this game.
Even now that the game's released.
Now that it's released, who cares? You know.
But that's how I feel about it, certainly.
I
And I
hope that
presume everyone else is like quite over it by now.
really. I still.
I don't. I don't know. The game's actually doing surprisingly well post-launch. I think there's still people finding it for the first time, and like actually, 3 days from now it's launching. I think on PlayStation, PS4.
See that I'm really excited about. I had a PS4. Don't have one now.
Yeah, but if you
Best.
had a PS4, you'd be getting Broforce for free on it.
Are you supposed to say that?
I think yes. Now I can say that there was that PlayStation vote thing,
Oh,
and
okay.
Broforce came out ahead in that.
How surprisingly, how surprising, one of the greatest indie games of all time ended up winning out. Weird, huh? Things you
Yeah,
don't expect.
I don't know. Yeah, there were some good games. There were some good games in the running because it was a vote, and I'm sort of sad that like it had to, that we couldn't all win. I guess because I personally like the other developers who'd worked on those games.
Yeah, but you like every developer, and every developer likes you. This is a
I
thing
haven't
that
I
I came
haven't
to
met
realize.
every developer yet. I'm working on that.
It seems as if you have, though. That's the thing. It almost seems like you have met every single developer ever. Because any time that when we were in Boston, and I spent almost that sounds really dirty. I'm not gonna say that. I spent no.
Okay.
How do I?
Are we not going there now?
I don't want people to think that we were like Oh God. No,
Oh.
butt
I
fucking
think
is
you
gonna
need a
come up a lot.
disclaimer before this interview.
Do I?
Yeah, like so that people don't think there's like journalistic bias, that kind of thing, and
But there's no
accused of that.
journalistic anything. I think at this point in time, I think everybody knows that there's like no journalistic integrity to me. Like, I'm not a
As long
journalist.
as you hear there's no journalism is going anywhere near this interview, I think no one will mind.
All right, fine. Let's put it this way. Everybody, in case you didn't know, I'm not press. I am not press by any means. I'm a PR guy for a company called Studio Whiskey Tango, who makes a game called Death Skid Marks, deathskidmarksgame.com, at... Sorry. You can find Death Skid Marks on Steam right now. Well, I mean, I have to be biased. I work with that team. I'm actually an employee at this point in time, which is really fucking awesome, so... Mm-hmm. That makes me happy. Like, technically, Can I count myself as the developer secretly?
I don't know what you can. I mean, you can. No one's going to stop you. I'm not.
No, I'm a developer. I made Death Skid Marks.
Just say you made BROFORCE. People like that game, I hear.
Fuck BROFORCE. I made that.
I actually had a friend of mine, so like a fellow developer, was here the other day. And like he's a relatively like game he worked on and did the design on got like an IGF for like game design or whatever at some point. So he's like a pretty known guy and pretty smart guy, right? And he came up to me and was like, Evan, you need to play this game, Death Skid Marks. Like, you need to play it because it's rad and like I think you'd really dig it.
Did that really happen?
Yeah, that really happened. It was
what
like
the fuck, really?
a week or two ago. Yeah. Yeah, and he's mentioned it a couple times since. Like,
who's this man?
When this is Rodin Jabert. So he worked on Desktop Dungeons, which beat Minecraft in Best Design at IGF in 2011.
With good reason.
Yeah, and it's a very well designed game, and obviously Minecraft is rubbish.
I'm a fan of his. I'm gonna have him. We'll be like, you want to suck each other's dicks for a little bit? I mean,
well, if you want to suck dicks or want to be involved with dicks, I mean, I've got just the game for you.
Oh, you hold off on that. That's there's gonna be some BROFORCE talk here in the beginning, everybody, and then we're gonna talk about Evan's new game. So expect a lot of. Yeah, we're gonna talk a lot about butt fucking in a little bit, and a lot of the noise.
Oh. It's really good. That's there's some good penis recording.
There's dick butts, man. Dick butts.
Fucking. What more could you want, really? Right?
I know, right? Like after you and I are done talking, I'm going to send videos of that to Edmund because dude's gonna fucking go crazy for that shit.
You think I've never met Edmund. So that's someone I haven't met.
I'm actually shocked by that. Considering how big you guys ended up getting, I'm actually really surprised by that.
I mean, I think we've just never been in the same place.
Yeah, I guess. That guy doesn't like going out in public very much.
Yeah.
I mean, now that he has a child, I don't know.
And I'm from South Africa, so I actually don't get around that much either.
Damn it! Oh, that's what I was going to do. My intro, like, introducing you. I was going to tell everybody that you were my favorite African American because you made BROFORCE, so you're basically an American and you're from Africa.
So honorary American from Africa.
Yeah, you're yeah. You're an African American.
In a sense, in another sense, I'm a pasty white dude who hides from the African sun most of the day.
The guy that I met in person, or saw in person the first time I saw you, and I was like, everybody look over there, it's John fucking Lennon. What's going on? And then had the balls to tell you that I thought you were John Lennon for a second. It was an amazing thing.
You did tell me this, but I was alive, so that must have really... I mean, I don't know if you believe in ghosts, but, I'd be pretty concerned if John Lennon kind of came up to me at like a PAX and then just hung out and kind of talked to me. That would be pretty weird.
After some of the shady places we ended up in Boston, I wouldn't be surprised if I were dead.
This is true. You might be dead.
I mean, then again, the shady places ended up at the Druid, and we had that fucking great beer. So that's a thing. So maybe we died and went to heaven. Do Africans go to heaven?
Yeah. I don't think Africans go to heaven. I think that's the rule. Like, you already live in a place that everything's trying to kill you. You don't get to go to heaven. What actually happens is you die, and then you get born an American.
Oh, wait, that's hell, right?
then you die again, and you get born a German in Berlin.
Oh shit, those goddamn Germans, savvy motherfuckers. No,
yeah, they've got it all. They've got good techno music.
German sex
great
dungeons.
beer. It's German sex dungeons. They've got clubs that are 24 hours. They just keep on playing like techno music. It's very German.
Are they scat clubs?
Like, I don't know if it's scat clubs.
It's got to be a scat club. Like shit though, like poop scat, not like skibbity bop bop boop it up boop. Not that kind of scat.
Yeah.
Like poop scat.
Is that the good kind?
In Germany, it's the good kind. So how's life after Broforce?
It's been pretty fun. I mean, there was like Broforce sort of isn't exactly over. Like it's the kind of thing where it was released and then we did an update, and right now we're sort of having a rest period because we worked really hard and doing a few other little games, and I think next month we're getting on doing some more updates and some maintenance that's really overdue on the game. And yeah, I think Broforce could have gone a lot worse. I think there's a lot we have to be happy about, that like it was well received and we had great publishers assisting us, and it's made like this period quite easy. Just like, you know, we got a bit of money. That's not really a concern, and we can actually make things we love. And we loved Broforce, but like getting to make lots of other things is like super. I mean, it's like, I guess it's what you dream about, right? Like being able to just make games.
I honestly, I've dreamt about it, and I wish I had the talent. I wish I had half the talent that you have in your pinky. Or your 9-inch.
Yeah, it's not my pinky that has most of the talent. That's like actually a myth.
Oh, it's the penis. Gotcha.
Of course.
More on Evan's penis later. I don't know. Like I can understand. Like you sat there and stared at that forever, and you know, you had people on Steam constantly talking about it in the forums. You've had gamers all together, whether they were people that were into indies or not, were super into the idea of Broforce. It had like that crossover appeal to people that are like, oh, those dumb little indie games, I don't like them. Pew pew pew. Throw me the ball, John Madden, and I'll shoot it with my.
Yeah, but a lot of those players still, you know, they loved action movies, and like they're not necessarily playing Broforce because it's an indie game. They're playing it because they just love blowing stuff up.
Because it's fucking dumb.
And they're having a bad time, and they're like, I don't get it. Like everything's exploding. This is like the worst. You know, I'm sure there's those guys.
I don't think anybody's ever said that. That's not a real thing. Oh, everything's exploding. This sucks.
If they're playing Broforce and they're going, oh gosh, another explosion, I don't know how. I'd like to know the path they took to end up playing that game, because you'd have to kind of actively avoid knowing anything about it, and then also have all of your friends trick you into playing the exact opposite of what you consider a good time. But interestingly, yeah, like one of the maybe not that interesting, but so it was the Broforce is going to be on PlayStation in a few days, and it went through like a voting thing. Like PlayStation have that like PlayStation vote where a couple games go head to head, and then one game gets the vote, and Broforce won. But then it's for this like free month on PlayStation, and there's a lot of people that are kind of like, oh shit, it's like another indie game, and like, why can't we rather have, you know, I don't know what they want, like Halo or something. Probably
Halo on PlayStation is really good.
They want like Assassin's Creed or whatever it is.
That hot job.
And they want that for free. And they're like, indie games. We've already got enough indie games. Like, give us like a real game, kind of. Yeah, and it's like, it's a little weird coming from Steam, where we worked kind of with players for so long, and like, or you know, everyone either doesn't care about Broforce, or if they do care about it, we've kind of met a lot of them and tried to make it a game that they would like, and then it's coming to PlayStation. It's all of these new players, and a bunch of them aren't really that keen on it like at all, which is, I don't know, it's a weird experience. Like it's been really like rad working with Steam, selling it to people who really enjoy it, and like, you know, and giving away free versions, like in the Expender Bros demo that we did.
Oh god, Expender Bros was so fucking awesome. Fuck.
It's really rad, like making games for people when they're kind of actually getting a game that they want, which I think is going to be a bit of a new experience on PlayStation, because I think some of the people who play it aren't going to want it.
I think the coolest thing about Broforce, speaking of what people want, was the thing that it was a game I didn't know that I wanted. Like,
You didn't know you wanted this.
I didn't know I wanted Broforce. You know, when I heard about Broforce, I think that you guys originally had it as a browser game. At least this is the way it seemed to me. And some of my former coworkers were talking about this fucking Broforce thing, and oh my god, this is the most hilariously dumb shit I've ever played. You can play as Arnold Schwarzenegger or Sylvester Stallone and just kill the fuck out of terrorists, fucking America, and all this other kind of shit. And I was just like, what the fuck? I never checked it out because it was a browser game.
It does sound pretty stupid when you put it that way.
Well, I mean, when you put it out on Steam, it's still stupid. That game is stupid as shit, and that is a good thing.
It's still stupid. It's exactly that stupid.
To call it the thing that Droken and I came up with, it's tasty dumb.
Oh yeah.
It's just it's a beautiful thing. Like, Broforce is that right kind of dumb. And even if you don't care about it being dumb, or you don't like dumb games, it's still a really fucking great game. Like, action-wise, everything exploding, the fucking environment falling apart on you. It's just so awesome.
I think that was one of the surprising things, I guess, because like there were reviews out there that were kind of like, you know, this bro thing is pretty stupid, like, and that's kind of embarrassing, but actually it's still a good game. You know, which is obviously very nice to hear, that like even people that act like that normally would prefer something with a bit more intelligence to it still like this game, like for other reasons.
I just got burnt out on shit like that. Like, for me, I want something dumb. Like, most of the time, I want to play something just stupid. Because I was playing so many games that were just so fucking serious. Like, why do video games have to be so fucking serious now? I want something dumb.
There was like Tim Schafer, quite a few years ago, wrote this article on humor, which was, he was kind of like, so I mean, Tim Schafer obviously writes like really good humorous stuff, like, you know, his work in the 90s on the adventure games he wrote for, he's written this, you know, great humor, but like what those adventure games weren't doing is like slapstick. They weren't like, these were games that had really well written jokes in them. And I think we're seeing, you get games like Surgeon Simulator or whatever. These are stupid games. It's like, it's completely ridiculous. Like, QWOP is like completely ridiculous. And this kind of, these games that are like almost so bad at being what games are meant to be, that they're kind of mocking both themselves and the entire art form. And it's really quite like, this is a new thing. This isn't something that existed in the 90s. This is very like reflexive, and it's really interesting.
Unless it was Chex Quest. I don't know if you remember. Do you even remember Chex Quest? It was a ripoff of Doom, and you were like killing Chex cereal.
I never played that.
Oh man, Chex Quest was the fucking. Oh, it was so good. It was just a ripoff of Doom, or Wolfenstein.
But there's Doom mods. Doom mods were great because they're all like. There's this like. Doom wasn't even that serious, maybe, but it's like a pretty serious game, and then there's these like Simpsons versions of Doom, and like all of these other terrible, obviously like brutal Doom and that kind of thing. But the modding was great because it's like it's taking half of it's like taking the piss out of Doom, and that's like, and it's stupid as fuck, but like there's something there that makes it special.
It's kind of like it's something that used to be so serious gets taken as a joke now. Phantasmagoria.
Yeah.
Fucking.
What was that? That wasn't stupid. That was like, it was pretty weird, right?
Yeah, but now everybody looks at it and they're like, that game's popular again. And now everybody's like,
those videos are hilarious.
Oh god, I fucking know. Like, I mean, it's no fucking Resident Evil 1. It's definitely not like that bad, but it's fucking terrible. And there's a scene where like. The fucking demon dude like puts his hand or his fingers in her eyeballs and in her mouth and just rips her head in half. It still freaks me out to this day. But god damn it, that shit's fucking funny. You can't help but laugh like, a little bit.
That's what I mean. I want more of that. Like and like full motion like video games were like popular for like a nanosecond.
I'm gonna catch shit for this. But fucking, I said I'm going to catch shit for this, but I bought Roundabout for that reason. I didn't like Roundabout, but I was there for the FMV.
Does that make you a bad person?
I gave the developers money, so I feel good about that.
Yeah, you should.
I couldn't care less about the gameplay, but the fucking FMV was so fucking terribly bad, and it was purposely terribly bad. But they nailed it. It was like that Danger 5 show. Like, it's so dumb, it's great. Or Wolf Cop. Fuck.
I haven't seen that.
God damn it, Evan, you need to see Wolf Cop.
Wolf Cop?
I got fucking Dennis to watch Wolf Cop. Dennis, who recommends me all these different movies, and they're always like the most serious fucking movies, and they're so good. And I'm like, you should watch Wolf Cop. Fucking watch Wolf Cop. Dude, watch Wolf Cop. You should watch Wolf Cop. I'm
gonna do that. But I want more of this like bad FMV. Like it's not stuff you see in games, which is sad. Like I'm sad that like that kind of died at some point, because like. The kinds of games we'd be getting, I mean, like to some extent, I guess you're getting games like Walking Dead and that, which would have, if it had been made in like 2003, would have been FMV, but like now it's like, and it's better in some ways, or in a lot of ways. It's probably better in all the ways, but like FMV is like hilarious. Like there's a certain quality there that you can get like a B, like a B horror movie kind of feel in it, but it's in a video game.
I'm probably going to get in trouble for this. Who knows? It's worth it. Who cares? So the new game that we're working on, we've talked about putting in some FMV shit, and like purposely having like the green screen cut out, or like having it say on the green screen cut for monetary reasons and all this other kind of shit. Just like really terrible things, and actually having me come up there to fucking do some of the video and all this other kind of shit, just to do stupid shit, because FMV is so great. Like, the studio I'm with, our whole motto is, we make stupid happen. Like,
is that literally your motto?
Our motto is literally, we make stupid happen. So
will I find that on your like Facebook page?
no, but it's on my business card.
Okay.
Yeah. My business card, which also drawn by Phil, is a luchador crushing a man's head. It's pretty gory for a business card, but it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It's so
Well,
good.
anyone who doesn't like that, you probably made a mistake giving the business card to them in the first place.
My business card literally has the whole Studio Whiskey Tango we make stupid happen, and then on the back of it says under my name it says that PR guy that won't fuck you over, which is really good.
Is it that one PR guy that won't fuck you over?
That's literally what it says. It's pretty good. I mean, not that all PR people will fuck you over, but like,
I've met some good PR people.
yeah, but not often. Like, PR people are the worst. I admit that, and it's one of those things where like we've jokingly tried to make up other names for PR, just so I don't have to call myself a PR person, because PR people aren't known as the best people. They're known for lying.
And then they see your business card and they're like, he's PR, this might actually happen to me.
Yeah, that's what I worry
because
about.
we've never known PR people not to murder. And it's like,
unless you're at Devolver.
It seems like a thing that's on their list to do.
Unless you're at Devolver, I mean, you don't get shit like that. Like, PR people.
Well, that's what I said. Like a lot of the PR people I've met have been connected to Devolver, so they're people that have been working in like healthy relationships with a publisher for a while, and they're therefore not shitheads. But that my experience is probably an exception.
I had some friends that recently lost $3,000 that they gave this PR guy, for a month of work. Guy just went missing.
And he took some money to do a month of holiday.
$3,000 and just left them high and dry. A team that they were with another team. That team broke up, and two of the two guys that I actually liked from that team actually left and made this new project with some other independent developer teams that split up and basically made this mega group. It's this interesting thing, but this PR guy just fucked them. Just whipped their dicks out and fucked them right in the butt.
I have an idea how that must look on screen in a game scenario.
Do you think I can actually splice that in somehow and put that on the YouTubes?
Yeah, I'm sure you can.
I don't
know. With your video editing skills, right?
I'm new. I'm a novice, but I am getting good at it. I did the last interview that I put up on my YouTube because SpiderDuck closed down. I fucking put it on my own YouTube. I did it on my own, and I was really fucking proud. I was like, holy shit, I almost cried, dude. I mean, it's not anything great, but I felt accomplished. I was like,
yeah. It's like you went from PR guy to a guy who produces rad YouTube content.
Hopefully rad YouTube content. Hopefully. Right now I'm just putting out interviews, and it's really nice. I'm here to talk about you, but every now and then I get these different developers that I haven't talked to before, and they'll email me and they're like, I want to do one of your interviews, and interviews is always in quotations because it's not technically a fucking interview, it's a conversation. So it's sure, I would love to talk to you, that'd be great. But getting compliments like that, it means they're passing it around, which is really fucking cool, and you see retweets and all this other kind of shit, and it's the whole goal. I want to see you guys be able to be known. I want people to love BROFORCE, but at the same time, I want people to know Evan Greenwood. I want people to know who you are.
But there's also the way you do it. If it's a conversation, right? That's being posted as a conversation where actually developers doing interviews a lot of the time is kind of words are going to be, you do this whole interview and then words are taken out of context and put somewhere, and it's not that the interviewer is necessarily trying to misrepresent you. It's just that it's been turned into text, and there's a limited amount that people are willing to read. So you end up kind of not sounding like yourself, where a conversation, at least, like, if you fucked up and said something ridiculous, it's probably because you fucked up and said something ridiculous.
Probably. But it's like, there's other people out there that do audio interviews, obviously. Like, the biggest video game interviewer out there actually listens to my interviews, which is really fucking weird to me. And super cool, because this guy's, like, somebody I look up to, and I don't want to, like, point it out.
I think he might be listening to this right now.
Well, I mean, right now, or right now?
I mean, if he's listening to this is in the future at some point, but
yes.
He's listening to this, you talk about him, listening to your work.
If he wants to, like, talk about it, then cool, but, like, I'm not going to say who it is, because, like, to me, it's flattering. It's fucking amazing. But, like, this guy is somebody that is kind of an inspiration to me doing this, so it's super cool to see shit like that, you know? It's like, let's say you made this game and all of a sudden your favorite developer was out there playing, or like the whole Sylvester Stallone thing that happened with Expendables.
Yeah, it's like surreal.
Yeah, it's like one of those types of things. Of course, you know, I'm not talented enough to make anything good, but, like, having that person listen to this is such a fucking cool thing. Like,
so, I mean, if you can't make something good, have you thought about stealing other people's intellectual property and using parody law to get away with, like, reproducing it?
Yeah,
have you thought about it?
Yeah, I made a game called Hotline Cavcaz, and then I changed the name to Bloodbath Cavcaz, actually.
Yeah.
Just a parody, bro.
That had Putin in it. It was a pretty sharp political commentary, I felt.
I had Dennis on for an interview, and this is when I was going through that little phase of doing live interviews, and they showed up in the chat.
Yeah?
Yeah, and like, I was like, the fuck are you guys doing with yourselves? Like, I just started talking to them, trying to figure out, like, what the fuck they were doing, because I thought it was fucked up, and Dennis is completely cool with it. I'm just like, really? Like, if people were ripping off my shit, which, you know, technically I'm ripping off somebody's shit. Like, I grew up listening to Howard Stern. That's why I do this the way that I do it. But I would feel kind of slapped in the face, like.
Well, I think Bloodbath Cavcaz is, like, definitely, like, a love letter in some ways to, like, Hotline Miami.
Yeah, but it's like,
I think the first time I met Cactus and Dennis are there, I pretty much almost immediately said, hey, I'm Hotline, like, South Africa, or like Hotline Soweto, because, like, I just want to, you know, I think it's, like, so cool. And, like, I asked him, obviously, and, like, I don't, because we've been playing Hotline, and, like, all I had in my head was, like, Hotline at that point. And I didn't really think that was a great idea. But, like, that's also, like, totally, I mean, that's understandable. But I think Hotline Miami is just one of those games where you go, like, this is so fucking cool. Like, I want to make whatever I can that, like, is somehow connected to this.
I agree. I mean, that's kind of like, you know, what's going on with, oh god, I feel bad because I've actually befriended those guys. Mother Russia Bleeds.
Yeah.
It's kind of like what they're doing with that. In a way, you know, it's their love letter to Hotline Miami and their love letter to Streets of Rage, which is...
Yeah.
When I talk to them, I'm always like, when do I get to play my dream game? Can I play it? Yeah, and they're like, you'll be the first person to actually get a copy that's outside of our friends and everything. And I'm like, I gotcha. Originally, when I scheduled the interview with you, like 2 hours before that, they had to cancel doing this. This spot was originally supposed to be for them, but they had to cancel because they had something else going on. You were my fill-in, but then I was like, wait, I'm getting Evan alone. All right, this takes over. Sorry guys. I love you, Lay Cartel. I do, but I'll take Evan singular over you guys. Sorry. I can't help it.
I played a little bit of Mother Russia Bleeds.
Fuck you, Evan.
That's only because of Evolver connection. Like, we all have, like, Evolver library stuff.
I know, I'm jealous. Like, I get everything from Devolver early, usually.
All you need to do is develop one video game for Devolver, right? And then you'll be mainlining straight into your Steam library, like Devolver, like work in progress games, like as many games as they release, I guess, which is quite a lot these days, I guess.
Quite a bit. I didn't mention this in the beginning. I apologize beforehand. It's a little bit late for that. Evan has South African internet, and South African internet is owned by Coney. And he doesn't like Evan, it turns out. So every now and then, Evan's going to get robot-y.
Oh, God.
No,
South African internet hates everyone in South Africa. It's like a well-known fact. It's trying to cripple every industry that does anything on the internet in South Africa.
That's what it seems like. It's so weird. Like, I think you're the only person I've ever talked to that's had that kind of issue. How is Mother Russia Bleeds?
It's pretty. Like, so it was a very early look at it, but it's rad. It's also got that like thing that like I guess feels like Hotline Miami-esque, where there's like you can get your opponents into a position where they're pretty fucked and you can wail on them.
I know, it's so gross, it's awesome.
There's a little bit of that kind of thing going on in like something like Double Dragon, or I think it's like Double Dragon had that thing where if you were standing right next to an enemy, you could kind of like grab them in a headlock and like kind of just beat them.
I think
it's got
almost
that
every
kind
one of those did that.
Yeah, it's like, but it's a really, I don't know, I always like that in brawlers, like that ability to just get your opponent completely powerless, and then, it's like it's a great power fantasy, and I think there's some of that coming through in like Mother Russia Bleeds, but in its own kind of way, and yeah, it's of it. I think it's awesome.
See, I used to get everything from Devolver early. Used to get everything. Like, I mean...
Well, what did you do? What happened?
I don't know what happened. I have no idea. All of a sudden, I just wasn't getting my shit early anymore, and I was like, what the fuck? It's probably because, like, they knew, like, everybody that I talked to, like, I'm always talking to every developer from Devolver. Like, I always interview everybody that puts out something. Except for the dude who made Dropsy. I still haven't talked to him yet.
Jake Brad, though.
Yeah, he's so fucking nice. I watched him on Robot Loves Kitties stream the other day. He was such a fucking nice guy, and of course, you know, Robot Loves Kitty, the nicest fucking people you can ever possibly meet.
Yeah.
I watched him on there. He was just so fucking nice, and I was like, man, I want to talk to him, and then I'm like, I'm a foul-mouthed motherfucker. I don't know. He seems so nice and reserved. I don't know if that's a good idea. Actually, you were the one who introduced me to him. I was trying to remember if it was you or Dennis. You were the one who introduced me to him. You took me over to see Dropsy at one point in time. I was trying to get away from the booth from the assholes I was working with at the time. And you were like, come with me. You got to meet this dude. And I was like, what game is it? And you're like, are you afraid of clones? And I was like, yeah, really bad. And you were like, all right, you gotta come see this. And I was like, all right. So you and I went over there. It was like, I don't know, half hour before the Hotline Miami 2 premiere thing.
Yeah.
So you showed me, and I was like, this is fucking scary as shit. And then, like, you had me meet him and start talking to him, and I started realizing what he was trying to do. I still haven't gotten him on, and I feel bad about it. Like, I've always... You know, I talk up Devolver all the time because I believe in what Devolver does, but for some reason I've never had him on, and Devolver's just like, fuck you, you ain't getting shit early anymore. I've been really good about Enter the Gungeon. Like, I've had Enter the Gungeon for over a year now. I've never publicly shown it off. I get every new build. Every single thing that happens in that game, I get it.
So but, you there's not Enter the Gungeon, it's something else you did to piss them off.
I didn't. I can't think of anything I did to piss him off. I've never once said a bad word about him. I've never
Mhm.
once shown off anything early unless I've had complete and total permission.
In fact, you might have said a few nice things about them.
I only say nice things about them. Fucking, I don't. I even offered to suck Nigel's dick, I think. Yeah, I did. I
Yeah.
did. And he's like, that's not necessary. Maybe that was it. Maybe that's what happened. Maybe it was the
Yeah,
dick sucking.
maybe he's just intimidated by your fellatio like abilities. Just
My abilities are pretty great, in all fairness. I can suck them. I'm done. So anyway, you guys are a group of talented motherfuckers. I've loved Broforce. I've loved the side projects that I've seen. The Wolfenstein thing was
oh yeah,
literally one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my entire existence. I laughed so
More-
fucking hard.
more just infringing on other people's intellectual property and getting away with it through parody law.
Hey, that seems to be your guys' gimmick, and I fucking love it. So stick with that shit.
Yeah, it might be our thing. It might be like it feels a little bit like you're, I guess in a sense, like I mean I joke about stealing, but it definitely feels like there's this like you're transgressing some kind of like code of conduct, and there's like something really enjoyable about that, like doing something maybe you're not meant to, but you do it anyway, and somehow get away with it.
Yeah, I don't know how the fuck you guys got away with that either. Considering who owns the property, I'm shocked.
I think we only got away with it because no one really thought it was going to be that big, even though I mean it isn't big in like a AAA sense, and also because most of the people talking about it were saying it was actually pretty good, so that it wasn't like it wasn't like we were doing anyone harm in that regard.
No, and at the time, I mean, obviously it had to be scary hearing that somebody actually made a good Wolfenstein game. Zing!
Well, so a lot of people liked that, like Wolfenstein New Order. Like a lot of
Yeah,
people
but this was
really
before
liked
that. That's why I'm saying at the time, nobody was making good Wolfenstein games.
it. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, we played some of the Wolfenstein New Order. I think it was around that time, and I don't know, it's there's something like maybe I've been playing too many indie games, but it felt really long, and nothing was destructible. And I mean, given like my proclivities, like the fact that you can't destroy anything in the game, it just feels so like fake, kind of like there's like this thing that's lacking, and you expect things to blow up, and like actually nothing does.
Yeah, but then again, you're also the guy who worked on the game that everything's fucking destructible.
Yeah, so like I think I've ruined myself for like a lot of AAA games. Like these games might be rad, but then I shoot like a cardboard box and like with a gun, it just stays there like it's like like this like immutable object in the universe that can never be moved or touched, and it just feels weird.
It is a really fucking weird thing, especially after playing Broforce. Like, you know, I recorded like 2 hours of footage just in case today, and
Yeah.
oh yeah, so you know, it'd be hard for me to play something where shit's not destructible. Or
I mean, it's gonna. You say it's gonna be hard, right?
oh, we're getting into how hard things could be. Don't take what I said as a flaccid statement. So
Look, you're flopping all over the place here.
I know, but like, you know, when it comes to doing these things, you know, I have to maintain a very stiff regimen. So
Oh yeah, but we're getting to that, right?
we are getting into that. I love your guys' side projects. I think that you guys are ultra fucking talented people. Ron's project, which I think I'm still saying it wrong, but Mergzergs.
I think you meant to say it wrong.
Maybe.
I think that's part of what it's about. I think he's also going to not have or show different people different title screens just to make sure no one knows how to spell it or how to say it.
it's a fucking amazing thing. Like, these are cool fucking projects that you guys do on the side. And then... and then there's Genital Jousting. Which is fucking hilarious. So, you showed me this article that... shit, who did it?
Jess Soho from Killscreen.
There you go. Amazing article. Nobody reads these days, but go read it. It's fucking hilarious. Like, get one paragraph into it like everybody does, and then just quit.
Yeah, she did an amazing... I mean, she obviously loved the game, but like the article itself is a pleasure to read.
It's
like,
great. It was magnificent.
I know it's saying nice things about a game I worked on, which makes me completely biased, but I think I'd enjoy reading that like article regardless of what game it was about.
Yeah, but I'm not here to kiss your ass or anything. Like, as a guy from the sideline reading this, it was fucking tremendous. This woman did great fucking work. As somebody who used to be a writer and shit, fucking grade A, top-notch fucking article. It was great. The video that they did was wonderful. I don't know if you listened to it. I hope you did. They isolated audio of her and her friends, her girlfriends, playing this game together, and it was the funniest shit. Oh, I'm gonna fuck you in the ass. I'm gonna put my dick in your ass. Fucking.
I'm just gonna go fuck myself.
It's fucking hilarious. Like, it was amazingly done. This woman took this in the right context and decided, you know what? Go fuck yourself, literally and metaphorically. It was so fucking good. And then this was the first time I actually saw a video of it. Somebody had posted one of the screenshots that was on there on Reddit the other, like, it was probably like last week, maybe 8 or 9 days ago even.
Yeah.
It was fucking weird, and never once did I think, oh, this is totally an Evan Greenwood joint here. Because, you know, I never looked at you as the guy who would make dick games.
You never thought that about me?
No, I've known you for fucking 2 years now, and I've spoken to you a pretty fucking good amount. I never thought you would make dick games.
This isn't even like the first.
Yeah, but you're a classy motherfucker, Evan. I mean, you're classy in, like, the, Bob Seger getting rich kind of way.
or the John Lennon kind of way.
Or John Lennon. You got the John Lennon look in the head area, not like the penis head area, but the head area.
So not the shaft or the...
No. Like the shaft, if your body's the shaft. Like your style is very Bob Seger. Publicly. I feel like this is a good explanation. I'm doing a bad job at explaining. But you're a pretty fucking classy dude, all in all, to be honest. Even drinking beer with you is intimidating. I'm like, I'm going to look like a fucking animal, and this dude's just going to fucking sit here and just be like... Me trying to get you to drink this beer, I was like, I don't even know if Evan's a beer drinker. He's probably like, hey, can I get a... Oh, I can't even do your voice.
But like a gin or I don't know, something classy. What's a classy drink? Like,
an aged 40 years Scotch.
Oh yeah, I could do that.
Yeah, see, I'm sitting there thinking that, and I'm like, I fucking drink this beer. It was called Harpoon. It was you can only get it in Boston. This shit's phenomenal, and I was like, Evan, you gotta fucking try this. And you know, you kind of gave me this look like, oh, I don't want to drink American piss water, and then you took a drink of it, and you're like, you looked at the bartender who's like behind this bar that looks like it's from The Shining, and you're like, can I get one of those? And I was just like, holy shit, like, Evan's actually going to drink a beer. But I never thought that would lead to you making a game about dick butts.
I don't think drinking that Harpoon beer directly led to making a game about dick butts.
I feel like I lowered your standards in life.
Well, so the game started at about, I guess, after the Harpoon beer, you know, being that formative moment. About a month later, was in Berlin. and there was like something else being shown off there that I'd worked on, and there was a game jam, like an 8-hour game jam, after the Amaze Festival that like happens there every year. And so I was there, and like there was Martin Cavale was there, if I'm saying it right. And we kind of were just like, let's make a game together. And
Sorry.
And it was like, well, we could, we don't really know what to do. We could make like, well, what about making a game about penises or whatever? And then like everyone was kind of like excited about that idea. Like the main thing was just like we were just taking the piss. It was like we know that there's this presentation at the end where people show their games. So we're just going to make this game, and at the end, like everyone's just going to be completely weirded out by this thing that we're making. And that was super fun. And people were much more uncomfortable with it than I expected. But that was also like, I mean, the article kind of mentions a bit of this. The making people uncomfortable was certainly very funny at that moment, and like, and our intention wasn't exactly to make people uncomfortable. The intention was always like this kind of really silly thing that like penises do, and it's a bit of like humor at the expense of penises, I guess, which seemed like a thing that in South Africa people are a bit less uptight about this, and like we've had like a good time laughing at this sort of game. But in Berlin, like people were actually kind of a bit like definitely quite taken aback by this kind of game.
I wonder why.
I think people might have been, I think we're quite like, I don't know, like chilled in South Africa, I guess. But it did lead us to kind of really go, hey, like if we're doing this, like we got to do it right. We got to make sure we're not making like a game that is kind of rapey, I guess. Like it's a game that could devolve very easily into like something really awful, right? Like, and so like a bit of work went into avoiding rapiness, I guess. But and I think that paid off. I think it's certainly that effort. Like, I mean, Jess writing that article for Killscreen, like the game needed to somehow be about penises, but also be this thing that's like actually doing it in a way that doesn't like doesn't sort of just get played by dudes who are all saying, making jokes about unconsensual like butt sex, I guess. So I think we sort of succeeded in that. I don't know. I mean, you'd have to play it and like figure out like how rapey is this game. And I honestly really hope the answer to that question at any point is not at all. But
I hope everybody takes it the way that she did. No pun intended on taking it, but the way that she did in the article was like, I think this is completely just trying to put it the way she did. As women, we're used to taking dicks, blah, 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 instead of being able to give it to somebody. And, like, it was this whole thing of, like, we live in an age right now in gaming where everything is sexist. You make a strong female character, it's sexist as fuck, because you made her have legs. She has legs, it's sexist. Fuck you. That's terrible. How dare you put a woman in your game?
Well, it's a case of like finally games are being scrutinized in this way, and there's like a lot of like I guess years of no one scrutinizing it at all, and so like it kind of maybe comes across as like I mean, if it comes across as overbearing, it's like it's because this is now almost compensating for this like history of like making video games for boys, I guess.
But that's kind of like there's a key word in there, I think, and that's history. Like I think in the last 5 to 10 years we've been seeing a lot more strong female protagonists, and now we're really getting like this whole sexist thing. I don't want to even say her name, because if you say her name 3 times, she appears and fucking tells you that you're a rapist.
It depends on what you say about her. I think if you say it 3 times in a certain way, a whole bunch of neo-Nazis appear and like fill your YouTube comments with like hate and flag your video for terrorism.
Yes. And of course, thankfully, I have you here. You're the human anti-terrorism unit, basically. So.
Yeah, well, exactly. Apparently, I waged a war on it, right?
You made BROFORCE.
It's something like waging war on terror, right?
You taught me how to fight terrorism the right way.
Well, with guns, right?
Well, yeah, it's America. I get loaded into the back of a truck. There's always a fucking eagle. And
everything explodes when you leave.
Exactly. Every step I take, somebody's fucking dying. Which, in all fairness, I think that you have the greatest America simulator ever. That is.
It's more like the best rest of the world simulator when America arrives.
Basically, I mean, the only thing that's different is like I didn't bring you some kind of new STD yet.
Yeah. Well, we're working on that in the sequel, right?
Oh God, I hope. I want to fight an AIDS monster.
Warfare. You just hand out rugs covered in smallpox.
Oh, you thought anthrax was bad?
No, we went old school.
Fuck you! You get smallpox, motherfucker. Here's the Black Plague. But the whole sexism thing, I don't know. I think that it's poorly timed. Like, back in the day, this would have been a great thing to have, because, I mean, every female character was just a set of jiggling boobs and all this other kind of shit.
But I'd sort of dispute that in some ways. I don't think it's poorly timed. I think it's... So the sexism debate really happened, I would say, a bit earlier in creative circles than it did like at large on the internet. Like, these videos where suddenly this critique about video games. This is happening in some ways after a lot of creators who are making games were realizing, hey, this is not cool within themselves. Like, that happened almost first. So there was, in some ways, this like already this shift towards trying to do a bit better. Now, it's not all creators, and it's not all video games, but there definitely were people aware of it before the broader critique started to happen. And then that reaches more people. That's reaching the next wave of game developers who are going to have heard of this and do better again. And I think critique's always a good thing. Like, I mean, we obviously developed BROFORCE like in the open, like open to a lot of debate and a lot of critique, and I think that made it a better game. I guess it's when there's critique and it's like really negative and like that can be kind of a destructive force. But like, I mean, I'm much like more excited to hear. I mean, I think you mentioned something Edmund McMullen said, which was to the effect of like, it's rad when you just make a game to prove your point, kind of like when you create something. I think that's really what like I'd like to see more game developers just doing, going like, yes, like let's make rad stuff that like isn't sexist or whatever, and then change our industry that way.
I love strong female characters. Always have been a huge fan of strong female characters in games. I don't know what it is, but I think it's because, this is going to sound really weird, but like women have a stealthier look to them. And I've always liked that kind of agile character and everything. It always looks weird coming from a man for me. Oh God, don't come after me, maninists. Is that a thing?
What, maninists can be ninjas as well?
Yeah, they can, but like a woman looks so much better doing it, right? Like I don't know why. I like the sleek.
I mean, I think it's also like if there's fewer, let's say, female action heroes, that's like an opportunity because like when there's far more like new ground to cover, right? Like there's far more new like juxtapositions. There's more new situations that you can create if you're looking for that. And like certainly when I'm playing games or watching movies or whatever, it's the things that are new and not just a cookie cutter replica of like the last thing that really excite me.
Mm-hmm. I agree wholeheartedly. I just, give me more strong female characters. If it's going to help, then go for it. But I don't think that being completely destructive towards the whole industry, like, as a whole, is the right way to go about it. And that's the way that a lot of this seems right now. It's just like, tear apart the industry. And it's just like, there's some people out there doing the right thing. I mean, you can look at dev teams now, and there's a lot of women leading them. Or, I think about, I've mentioned their name before, Robot Loves Kitty. You got a strong female out there making games that girls can look up to. Like, I have, when I was streaming all the time, I had young girls that would come into the stream, and I'd be like, yo, you need to check out Robot Loves Kitty if you want to make games, all this other kind of shit. And they look up to Alex now. Like, she's a perfect person to look up to. It's an amazing thing to see things like that. Like, you have a lot of women in game development now. You don't have to trash the whole fucking industry.
I mean, I do, like I said, I mean, I believe, like, criticism makes us stronger. And, like, I always like to hear the criticism. Because, even if you don't necessarily follow it, because I do like my really stupid games. And I want them to be stupid, and sometimes there's going to be a bit of shock factor thrown in there. But I realize what I'm making and what I want to make, and there's I have lines that I don't cross or things that I want to achieve, and it's not always good taste.
You do not have any lines that you will not cross anymore. I don't believe you.
Well, you haven't seen the games that I've been keeping to myself. There's some lines that have been crossed maybe a bit too far.
Oh Jesus! When this is over, I need to know.
Okay, I'll send you a link, and it'll cast a new light on everything that I do. I think
I'm so fucking shocked. I'm not even going to look at you the same way anymore.
You're not going to know what I am.
Oh, Jesus, you're a fucking monster.
Is he a game developer? Is he a monster? We can't tell.
I kind of like the idea of this in a way. It's weird. Okay, we gotta talk about your dick butt, Gabe. We gotta talk about your dick.
Hey, I mean, just to finish the thought, like, I mean,
okay.
I do think, I think there is a lot of like critique about sexism, and I think it's totally fair to do that. I definitely don't want to stifle it. I do think, I mean, I think a lot of the negativity sort of comes because it then kind of turns into this war where it really should just be people going, hey, notice this thing, it's kind of bad, and everyone goes like, oh, it is kind of bad, thanks for drawing my attention to it, and like everyone goes on with their lives. But that's not how it plays out. And I think that's where it starts looking like this war on video games. It's not that it was ever intended to be that. It's that, people aren't receiving it in good spirit, I guess.
As I said, the article's tremendous. In fact, I will link it. I hope I remember to. No, I'll remember to. Fuck it. I need to post that in here because it's so fucking good. The woman looks at it in the exact way that you could hope, and it's tremendous.
It's better than we could have hoped for.
I think it's honestly this. You drew my attention to this article. This is actually somebody I'm actually going to go out and read things from. There's only 2 people that I actually read articles from, and it's hard for me not to. Like, Colin Moriarty writes phenomenal fucking articles. This woman is being added to that short list of people I will actually read everything from. Because, holy fuck, the way she wrote it, the way that she actually looked at it, all this other kind of shit, she just nailed it. And it was an amazing thing to see. It was seeing dicks fuck each other and their dick butts was an amazing thing to see also, but I digress.
I think the game allowed her to also talk about a few things that she wanted to. Like, I feel like in some ways, I mean, so the game was in Chicago, like an earlier version of the game, just ran, like unannounced, randomly at this festival called Bit Bash. And it was just, they had like a more, I guess, mature, or I wouldn't actually call this game mature, but like, they had like an adults-only section to it. It's not mature, right?
Well, I'm with
they had an adult section, and like the game was there, and someone from Killscreen saw it and was just like, actually, I wish I had his name, but he was just like, this is great, meet Jess, this is like exactly the kind of game she'd like, and she wants to write this article, and I was like, that is awesome. I mean, I love Killscreen. Like, I think it's like it's my, I guess, favorite, and I don't say that just because they wrote an article about a game I work on, but like it's like, I think, a really good website to get. Yeah. I mean, it's. I mean, there was like a time when like I think I was reading a lot of indie static, and then that exploded, and then all of what was like good kind of went over to Killscreen, and there was a whole lot of other magic ingredients that were there, and it's just really a good like publication. And then they sought us out, I guess, which was like actually really awesome. Because you're working on this, we've been working on this like really, what we thought really stupid game for a while, and kind of, I mean, at this point, like, we're still kind of just going like, hey, it's going to be this free game, but we're just trying to make it like fun, and see where it goes. And then like, one of my favorite writers is like getting hold of me and saying, hey, like, I want to write an article about that, which is like, that's completely surreal. Like, it's not something I expected when going into this. We were making a game because we thought it would be funny.
How the fuck did you come up with this game, though? That's my real question here.
So, I mean, to some extent, this idea had been brewing. A colleague. So you chatted to Richard the last time we had an interview.
Also known as
Richard Peterson. Sorry.
Also known as Dick.
also known as affectionately as Dick. So he made a game called Wang Commander, which is sort of like floppy penises trying to play soccer in like weird gravity, and they're bouncing around, and like they're very floppy. And what is interesting about that is you've got these like kind of really pathetic penises, and they're struggling to achieve, they're struggling to score, as it is in this game. But we had this game at a few events, and what I thought was interesting is that women who were playing it were having a good time, if not having a better time than like the guys that were playing it, and like, or at least they were finding more humor in this, and that was really interesting. So there was this kind of like, there's something about floppy penises in a game that actually it kind of crosses gender boundaries, and like I don't know if I really quite, I didn't quite understand what that was, but then but I've been wanting to try that, and I made a few attempts that weren't genital jousting, that were in some ways a lot more horrific, in all the ways a lot more horrific, really. And
so fucking curious. I'm so curious.
I'll send you an example of that after the chat.
I can't fucking wait. You have no idea.
Yeah, but you need to get 4 players, I think. No, it's like at least 2 players, and it'll give you a really sad time. And you'll find out why. Yeah, or no, it depends. It really depends. Anyway, that was not successful in the sense of making. Not everything I tried to do was successful in the sense of bringing about this kind of humor that like both kind of men and women could get. Because I think I think it's a different experience. I think the experience Jess had is definitely the one that like excites me. That like this can kind of subvert a lot of like societal expectations of what penises are about. But I think even for guys, like I've seen friends at like a festival and they'll be like, the best buds, but they'll be sort of uncomfortable because one of them will be yelling, "Hey, fuck me, get inside my ass." And, it's these 2 like heterosexual dudes and there's a moment of like discomfort and then they kind of just do it. And then that's kind of magical. Like I think it's like there's a little bit of a taboo that's maybe being approached here that can kind of for some people anyway, it's not like going to revolutionize their lives, but it's nice to kind of make them maybe a bit more comfortable about a subject they wouldn't normally be comfortable about.
There's been this animation on the Reddits over the last few weeks. So yours wasn't the first penis game thing I saw. Some dude made this animation of this blue guy running around, and he has this big, giant, floppy cock. And, like, I mean, fucking gigantic floppy cock. And he goes up and he swats it against these other floppy cocks that are just hanging on walls or on bars and everything. And just, like, full physics to these things. And I found it to be absolutely hysterical. Because there's not enough dicks in games. There's just not enough dicks. There's all kinds of titties, no dicks.
I think it's something, as a studio, we're looking to rectify.
Rectify.
I know, I was trying to do something with that, but it didn't really come out. I feel like, so one of the things that like I felt so we made that like Super Wolfenstein thing, and might be making some more first-person kind of parody games, but like that in the future. And one of the things I really want to do is have targetable dangling penises on enemies. I feel like there's a certain satisfaction you can really only get by shooting your opponent's dick off.
I'm on board.
I don't know yet because we haven't done it, but I feel like it might be another thing that crosses that like barrier that of like, so it's shooting another man's dick off is something you can really get behind if you hate that other man, or if you're a person who hates dicks, you can also get behind that. So I feel like literally emasculating men in a video game might be quite hilarious, but I guess we'll find out if it's in good taste or not soon enough.
That woman's name, Simulator 2020. Bam.
That doesn't sound good.
No, that's a great idea. You shoot dicks off.
Yeah, but like
every one of them has a shirt that just says "scumbag" across it.
No, I think our thinking is a little more like so like the most hard, like you play up the manliness of these games, so it's all like this is like ultra, like Brutal Doom or whatever, right? But like what the core mechanic
voices like this.
Here's Brutal Doom. Shoot dicks, shoot their dicks right off, and it's like it's super manly, but it's really emasculating and awful, and like. I think that would like resonate with certain people. I don't really know what I'm doing most of the time. You just got to make it and find out if it's in bad taste or not, because you're not going to find out before you make it.
So speaking of bad taste, we got to talk more about this game. I'm only imagining dicks taste bad. I imagine. I don't. I'm not that I'm imagining. You know what? No, fuck it. I I imagine dicks don't taste great.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I can't help you there.
I was hoping one of us had some kind of experience. I don't know.
No, that would have made this less awkward, I feel. Um, but regardless of what they taste like, right? So we were trying to work out how to have like other genitals in the game, because that we thought, hey, wouldn't be great to have vaginas and like maybe other things like mouths, in the game, but like we couldn't. It didn't seem like it would be as funny, just because it would like start to make kind of. I think dicks are a better thing to make silly than vaginas at this point. Or at least, I mean, at least it's not a game for us to make in a sense. Like making dicks really wobbly and limp and like weird looking, like I can make that game because I'm a dude and like I think dicks are like hilarious, but like I don't think anyone and people can get behind that, maybe, I hope, but I don't know. I don't think I can do the same thing with vaginas or mouths or strap-ons, that kind of thing. I'm hoping someone makes that game though.
Yeah, but nobody's ever made a good vagina in a game, so.
I know, and this is really like I wouldn't say problematic. It's just like there's been a few interesting approaches to vaginas, like the game Can't Touch This.
Yep.
That's pretty great, right?
Yeah. I guess,
it's got a great name, at the very least. Like I want to see vaginas in games. I want to see them treated, as ridiculously as we can do with dicks. But I don't think I can quite make that game yet.
I think you guys fucking nailed it, which is the beautiful part. I actually, after you sent me that, I went downstairs. I live with my best friend. We've been best friends for like 15 years or some shit. I show him this, and the amount of disappointment on his face was hilarious. He was just like, he's like, that's dumb, and not even dumb in a funny way. And I was like, what? Are you serious? I'm like sitting there laughing hysterically, and dude just looks at me like I'm just the worst human being ever.
So I take it you're not friends anymore then?
At the moment, no. we can't be. We can't be. It's a sad time in my life.
So I'm sorry I brought you guys to this. So what you need is a copy of this game so that you can have some makeup sex, I think, over this.
That's what I was thinking, and I've never wanted to put my dick in his ass so bad,
Yeah, I mean, I think this is the perfect opportunity to go there with him, to that place.
I think it would be a beautiful moment. I think it would take our friendship to the next level, even.
But that's what I hope to do. That's what I hope to do with the games I develop or work on.
I'm hoping that we can really ease into it, and I can help him. Just give him the tip of what we could be doing, and then really thrust deep into the game
this
itself.
Issue. Yeah,
I think that it would be a beautiful thing, and
maybe a beer or two first, just to get lubricated.
Yeah, you really gotta loosen it up before you just get in there. You gotta wet the whistle. So some beers would help.
I think you made it just a tip joke just there.
I
A little
did.
earlier.
I did. I'm pretty
Yeah.
proud.
You should be proud of that.
Oh, come on. I gotta be proud of that one. It's a beautiful game. I'm amazed by it to the point where, literally, sitting there, I was talking to you and had my screen share on, talking to the girlfriend, and I was like, "The fuck is going on here?" She sees this, and I'm not sure how she's going to react. She somewhat has the same sense of humor as me, and she just sees this and she goes, "Oh my god." And I'm just like, oh shit. She's like, we gotta play this.
Oh,
like, fuck
yeah. That's the reaction. That's. I mean, yeah. I mean, this isn't. Like I said, this is probably a game. If we do, I don't know if we'll find a way to try sell it or anything. But
I think you guys should sell it for $1. Just sell it, on a website. Be able to download it. The only problem is, I think you need online multiplayer in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And that's one of those things that you'd have to work out because, you're not going to be able to get something like that on Steam.
Yeah, I think we could.
Really?
Yeah, we wouldn't be able to get it onto iOS or PlayStation, or definitely not Nintendo and probably not Xbox, but you'd be able to get it onto Steam.
If you can get it on Steam, I don't know what I will do, but I will fucking do something crazy because I cannot imagine that they'd be okay with that.
I don't know. I mean, I obviously have not tried this before. I feel like Devolver could talk to Valve and burn through all of their goodwill and get it on. I feel like that's something Devolver would do for us.
If you could do that, you have online functionality right there.
Yeah.
I mean, Steam has their fucking Steam servers for this kind of shit. No pun intended on the shit thing. But, you could... If you can get it on there,
well,
it'll be the most amazing thing.
So, I mean, for whatever it's worth, Humble already contacted us and said, hey, we saw they saw the Killscreen article and they were like, we want this game with a Humble widget and we want you to make money off this, which is rad. So Humble are down with it. Maybe.
I mean, at the least, I'm saying, I think you guys could make money off of it. I think it's for a guy who, with the last experience of games that I worked on, doesn't really care about local co-op anymore. I think this would be really fucking fun.
I mean, so the goal here really isn't to make money out of it, although as soon as you add online stuff, it's a lot more work, and then you need to figure that out.
What if I told you could be the next Notch?
All the 7-year-old kids will be playing this 3 years from now.
They have Minecon now. They could have TalkCon.
Yeah, what about Genital Con? What about that? Where's our convention, right?
I don't know if you can do that. There's already a Gen Con.
Yeah? Does that stand for genitals?
I kind of hope so now. I don't know what it stands for.
I feel like it probably doesn't, and it's such a missed opportunity.
It's sad.
Yeah. I mean, all those people arriving at that convention going, we thought this was going to be about genitals.
I wore my chaps. Pants.
I was ready for this.
Oh, man. Sir, you can't come in here with your...
I've got 100 dick pics stored on my phone. Ready for this.
I got my booty hole showing, and I can't fucking come in now. I'm ready to play... I'm ready to play Genital Joust, and I can't play in real life. How can I play this? And then, people want to play Genital Joust.
Yeah, I mean, this game might lead to some pretty unrealistic expectations of real life. I mean,
I had a moment where I've walked in on a couple of guy friends playing Genital Joust in real life, and never more have I wanted to Genital Joust before than right now.
See, yeah, I mean, before maybe you didn't quite see the appeal, but
No, I
the,
didn't.
you know,
It was one of those things I walked in on, and I was just like, oh, all right. And then I walked away, like just closed the door, and then I never thought about it again until right now.
now you feel like there's a whole world you haven't explored.
A whole world that I need to explore. I need to explore the whole thing. Sorry, I'm sitting here thinking about this, and it's I think that you should. I think you should release it. I think that you should put in online multiplayer. I
Yeah.
think that it would be really fucking fun. I think that it would be really cool to be able to put your dick in the butt of a person in every country. Besides Australia, because everything's banned there. But I think it would be awesome.
I think we could get it to Australia.
Good luck. Hotline Miami too.
The thing
Shut
about
that shit.
Australia is we just won't tell them. We just won't tell Australia that we're sending our game there.
Or just do what Dennis does and say, "Oh, just pirate it. Who gives a fuck? Enjoy the game."
Yeah,
It's simple.
I think we just won't announce it. It'll just be. We could just tell them, "Hey, Australia, we're not actually going to sell our game there, but we actually are." And then, do it like that.
Dude,
Sneak in it.
What if kid's playing this game? His mom walks in, and she says, "Son, what are you doing?" And he looks at his mom straight in the eye.
It's just like
Serious
anal
as can be.
sex.
And he's like, I'm putting my dick in the butt of somebody from Zimbabwe right now. Please don't bother me at a moment like this. This is a serious moment, mother.
We just had a moment.
I think it's beautiful.
I just made an Ouroboros with a guy from Mexico.
And here's the other really cool thing. I think you could get it on Nintendo. Considering their stance seems to be quite Christian. Anal sex, there's a lot of Christians that get around not, you're supposed to save your virginity until you get married. There's a lot of people who take it in the duty hole. Just so they don't... Yeah. I'm not even joking.
Because that's like a kind of loophole, I guess.
It is definitely a loophole. Definitely.
That's what they're calling it now.
That really is a thing, though. That happens. I've known a couple of different girls that got around not losing their virginity by just getting plowed out in the butt.
Well,
it's a thing.
Yeah, I mean,
so this could be.
It's inventive.
It could be a Nintendo product.
I'll probably sell it to them exactly that way.
See, I fucking nailed it. Evan, I'm a fucking video game savior.
You should do PR. Have you considered it?
I've thought about it, but I think I'd be terrible.
But you thought that the people are too abhorrent, right?
I don't know, PR is such a weird thing. I don't think I could ever possibly do PR. Everybody go to deathskidmarks.com. But I don't know if I could possibly do something like that. I don't know how to be a complete and utter shill. And also, you can buy Death Skid Marks on Steam right now. I just don't know how to be a shill. By the way, PR totally stands for penis and rectum.
It really could. Really
Nailed
could.
it.
And that could have been another good name for this game, right?
Yeah, it's Dick, the PR guy.
I feel like if it had been called PR, it would have been a decent metaphor for what goes on when trying to sell a video game.
I applaud you. That's fucking absolutely true. It really is. Sad. It's sad. It's fucking sad, but it's true. Some of those people could be real assholes.
But there's only one way to stop an asshole.
Oh yeah? How?
So, some people are pussies, and some people are assholes.
other people are
And,
dicks.
assholes tend to just shit all over everything. But then the thing about dicks is, they fuck pussies, but they also fuck assholes. And sometimes you just got to be a dick and fuck that asshole.
You truly are the most American man I've ever met. You've memorized one of the best scenes from the most American movie ever.
I don't think I gave it a perfect rendition. And it wasn't
but it was really...
swells of orchestra behind it, as I said it. I think I was definitely lacking.
It was pretty good though. and I give you 5 out of 5 Matt Damons. This game, you have to release it. You have to though. It's. I think that it's funny as fuck. I think it'll get a good amount of attention. You put it out on Twitter, people are going to fucking be all over it. I think that it'll make the masses come.
If they don't come, they're not playing it right?
No, I think that you have to be really intent about putting your dick in another person's butt if you're going to come. But when they come, I think they will come loads, just mass amounts, and they'll be coming all over the place, from all over the place even.
Are we talking about players now?
Yeah, I'm talking about like people all over the world are going to come just to play this game. I think they'll come hard and they'll come fast to it.
So occasionally prematurely. Some of them are trying to come to our website right now, and like it barely functions, and there's no build there. I feel like they're there too. They're doing it, but they're coming a bit too soon.
Well, I think I made a really soft attempt at first because I haven't even been able to play with it yet. But when I can play with it, I'm probably going to play with it quite vigorously. And I don't want to blow my load on it now, but I think that it's something I really want to play with.
By yourself?
Yeah, I don't know if I can play with myself only, but I'd like somebody else to play with, Yeah. And
if you have a few friends around, I don't
want to play with. I don't want to play with like just some jerk off though, I want to play with like somebody who's really good at it.
I feel like you want to play with someone you really care about.
I do. I want to.
I think that's when you'll come the hardest.
I do too, and I think that's where I will feel it really deep inside of me, and they will feel it really deep inside of them.
Yeah, but also tenderly, right? That's important.
I want to be able to look them in the eyes, but at the same time, I don't mind if I can't look them in the eyes, and I only have to look them in the back of the head at the same time that I'm looking over their shoulder to see what I'm doing and watch what I have to watch. I think it'll be loads of fun. And
I feel like you nailed that.
I feel like I've gotten myself into a real sticky situation here. God damn it, I'm so good at this.
You should do PR.
In the meantime of waiting for the next project that we haven't really talked about, I have been looking for something else to do PR on. I'm just saying, I read a hell of a press release. And trust me, the release on this would be a big release.
Oh, yeah?
Oh,
It'll be released all over the place.
Oh, I would release it everywhere.
In people's ears? In people's mouths, maybe?
All over their faces, Why discriminate?
Do you think it'll be the kind of release they can swallow?
I don't know if it's going to be able to be swallowed, because I think that there's going to be so much of it that it's just going to come everywhere, and not enough people are going to know how to take it down the right way.
They might not be into its flavor.
No, but I don't want it to be like this salty thing that just comes out there. I want people to, think that it's really sweet. I want people to love it. I don't want it to leave a bad taste in anybody's mouth. I'm just saying, I'm hireable. My contract literally says I'm allowed to work with anybody else I want to. I'm just saying, Evan Greenwood.
Well, at the moment, we're still deciding actually what we want. Like I say, it's been this kind of just this thing we've been doing because it was too stupid not to do, and then we got in a bit of like positive. Like obviously that kill screen article was just like
amazing.
Yeah, it was just really the best we could hope for, and that's really so a few people have now noticed it, and like and that's definitely encouraging. It definitely makes me much more excited to finish up the game. But then
it's all about a strong finish.
I feel like there's a bit of you want to put a bit of groundwork in before you start, almost, right? Like there's
I mean, sometimes you got to get on all fours to really put in the work, and just it's that real elbow work sometimes that you got to get in there deep and really give it the power that it needs. You got to thrust yourself deep into this project, and I think
just
that it's
completely immersed, like all in.
Like you got to get balls deep in on the situation.
I think so right now that pretty much describes my situation. And yeah, like it's been a lot of fun. Like I say, it's like it started off at a jam, just like me, Martin, and Daniel Schuller. It was there in Berlin, and like me and Martin, and like, with some help from a few others, have been kind of just working on it. And it's a thing, I guess. We'll see where it goes.
It's a thing that's getting attention.
Yeah.
I think that that's amazing, and sure, it's not like a lot of big attention yet, but the fact that it's gotten any kind of attention this quick is really awesome.
Well, given the kind of game it is, like it's always going to have like this really limited audience, but like it seems like some of the people who like it or might like it really like it, and like that's what's exciting. Like you want to be making games that even if a few people like it, they really love it.
As somebody who's worked for people making multiplayer games, this is the best multiplayer game I've seen in a while.
Yeah?
And, in at least, like, I don't know. Let's just say at least the last 2 years. At least. This looks way better than any other multiplayer game I've seen, and I genuinely do mean that. Like, as a funny thing or not, I really do mean it. It seems fun. It's so fucking simple. But it's... I don't know. I don't know what it is, but there's a certain charm to it. And
I think
never in my life have I wanted to play with a big, giant floppy cock this much.
But I think Martin's done some really good work making it kind of like have I'd say pitch perfect atmosphere. There's just like it feels like this. I mean, you would have heard some of the sounds, and I think it really informs the attitude of the game. That it's like it feels kind of. There's some good sound effects.
It's fucking great. The sound effects are what got me most.
My favorite sound effect, though, in the game is hitting a penis against a wall. It's.
I didn't hear that.
No, you hear it most at the start of the game when you're joining.
When you push up to consent.
Yeah, and you can kind of slap it against the sides at that point. It sounds almost too real, I think. You know.
I need to. I don't know how well this is going to come over here, but we're gonna figure out. I'm gonna try to get that sound effect up here. Where'd it go? No, for some reason there's this kill screen thing, and every time I click on it, it takes me to this thing about College Humor.
Oh
It's
yeah.
like, no, yeah, nobody wants that. Nobody wants College Humor. We want these big floppy cacks all over the place. Oh, this is on YouTube. This video's from YouTube. So apparently that is okay.
Yeah.
Alright, here we go. I don't know how well this is going to come over.
Yeah. Got some of it there.
That's fucking gross. I don't even know if I want to ask how that happened. I don't... Like, I want to know the sound effects, but do I?
Like, one of the amazing things was Martin walked into the jam with those sound effects on his hard drive already. Like, I don't know how that's possible, right? Like, that shouldn't be possible. Like, he was prepared, and like, we'd been talking for a few days. We'd been hanging out in the same hostel, but he didn't. I don't think he knew we were going to make a penis game that day. I think he's just prepared for a penis game any day.
I think every developer should be.
Yeah, you don't know when inspiration's going to strike, right?
You never know when you're going to get slapped in the side of the head by a penis game. You don't know.
It's going to come at you hard and fast, and you've got to be braced because you don't want to.
When it really catches your eye, you want to be ready for it. I know what you're saying. So the possibility, the likelihood. Give me a percentage that the public will get their hands on this.
It's definitely happening. So the current plan, at the very least, would be that there's like a release in April. So the idea is we started it at a maze in Berlin, and if we can have our way, we'll have some kind of release at a maze in Berlin. That version's probably not going to be that much different from the current version. The only situation in which that's not true is if we decided to add a whole lot of features and then we delayed it a bit.
I really hope I'm there for this. I really do. I want to be there. I'm trying my hardest right now.
Amaze is the best festival. Fucking Werewolf will be playing there.
What?
Yes.
Motherfucker.
Yeah, they play. Unless I heard wrong, they played last year.
God, I fucking hope I'm there for that. Jesus Christ, I'm trying my hardest to get there right now. So, did you just laugh because I said hardest?
Don't try too. You don't want to try too hard. You might blow something.
I do understand that, but
but
when you want to come, you want to come.
Amazing Berlin is like the best festival that I've ever been to, and I've been there a couple years now, and it's always this great people, and it's also this kind of, you go to like PAX or whatever, or like GDC, and you're meeting developers, and and they're all kind of working hard, because they're at GDC trying to network, or they're at PAX trying to like sell a game. But at a maze, everyone's just there to have fun, and it's like the best opportunity to meet developers, because they're not the tired, worn-out husks they are at these other like conferences and festivals. They're there to have a good time, because a maze is a good time.
In all fairness, I had a hangover every fucking day at PAX East, so There is that.
I think it's also, I mean, Amaze is also like more on the art side than on the commerce side. There's like, people there kind of, want to make a living making video games, but isn't about making the living. It's about making interesting games. So it's, for a developer, like, I feel going to Amaze is good for the soul.
All right, I need to try my best to get there. I'm trying as is, but I gotta figure out this whole situation. I need to do that so bad. I've heard of this. I never knew where this took place. I had thought it took place in America for some reason.
No,
I gotta do this.
It's Berlin. And there's a lot of very cool Europeans that aren't maybe as present at American shows, and that's also a lot of fun.
Well, sir, is there anything else you want to talk about when it comes to genital jousting?
I'm just checking if... Yeah, fucking Werewolf definitely played last year, but I don't see a news story about them playing this year. You might have to ask Dennis. I
was going to say, I can just ask Dennis.
Maybe I just dreamt that, like, fucking Werewolf were going to play again this year because I wanted it to happen.
I mean, you did go to Texas and see them without me.
I did do that, but I would phrase it when you stayed behind and didn't go to Texas with me.
Motherfucker, I haven't made a super successful game to afford that shit. Fuck out of here. Fucking Notch Jr. over here buying his fucking mansion.
I'm only in like a mansion because like a mansion's cheap in South Africa.
I know, that's the joke. God damn it. Don't ruin my jokes, god damn it. I'm gonna ask you to do something, and I don't mean it in a sexual way. Or maybe I do secretly. Evan, I want you to plug yourself.
How would I do that in a non-sexual way?
Well, I mean, like your Twitters and all your stuff that you want to share with people.
Well, so in case no one caught what's going on here, I'm Evan Greenwood from Free Lives in South Africa. Free Lives made BROFORCE, and along with Martin Cavell and like help from a few other people, busy making a game called Genital Jousting. I'm making a lot of silly games at the moment, and this is just one that was also good as well as being silly. I hope. We'll see, I guess. Indie dev designer from South Africa. A good place to make games. I was telling Eric about that earlier. Cheapest place in the world to live right now if you're earning dollars. It's a good place to be and make games. Come make games here. It's rad. See, I'm doing a bit of PR there as well.
I noticed.
That's me plugging this country because I want like rad indies to come here. And I don't necessarily mean that section.
No. I think that a lot of people need to come right there, right in that whole that whole spot. They need to come in and they need to fill it up. They need to fill that hole that South Africa has in it.
Yeah, the sweet spot. Just take it, grab it, any way you can, and don't let go until someone's come.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's what's really important in the end. I want people.
I think making games is a little bit like giving birth to a child. I feel, and in both cases, it's a lot of it's got to do with the inception.
Yeah, I agree. It sounds very pleasurable to me in a lot of ways, and in 9 months, who knows if you guys have released this gift out to the world.
9 months would be I feel like an appropriate amount of time.
I feel like you gotta let it mature, and then in 9 months, I think you guys could release this thing that we all fall in love with and hold in our arms.
I don't feel like that applies to tiny humans, to be honest. I feel
No.
like what happens is you do a lot of, you release it into the world, and then you have a lot of sleepless nights, your health deteriorates, you're constantly trying to fix bugs that it's getting from the outside world, and it's stupid and broken, and then one day, about 18 years later, you stop doing support on the game.
Fuck. Fuck. What has my life become? Oh, I love it. I love this. Well, everybody, if you found this interview, you found it on the YouTubes. Hit that subscribe button, I guess. I think that's one thing you're supposed to tell people.
Yeah,
Uh,
I've heard PewDiePie do it. He's got a lot of subscribers.
Oh, how's it going, Biz? My name, and you guys should all subscribe to my shit. And if you don't, Evan's gonna fuck you in the butt.
I'm really, I don't think you can promise that, but I would require consent first, just because the game's
Well,
really.
you have to push.
You saw that video? Like that was a
Yeah,
consent is a big deal. Like
press up to consent.
yeah, take that stuff seriously.
I'm with you. I think that was the most genius part of all of it, to be
Well,
completely
that wasn't my idea, to be fair. I can't take credit for that.
Whoever it was, good on him, because holy shit, that was fucking hilarious. That was the part that fucking got me at first and foremost. I was like, you're fucking joking me right now. You gotta consent to get the dick, and then the dick pops in, and you're just like, fucking flop that motherfucker around, beat it against the wall.
It's ready, you know.
I'm with you.
It's ready for anything that comes.
It's a really hard thing to pass up. And, I want you to enjoy making this game. I don't want you to get too anal about everything. It seems like an amazing thing. You can follow me on the tweeters, at Indie Luchador. That's a thing you can go do. There's a lot of things you guys can do. But, I guess we're gonna end this here. Evan, genuinely, it's been a pleasure having you. I love the person that you are. You're a tremendous human being, and as much as I love talking to Free Lives, for the longest fucking time, I've wanted to get you alone and talk to you, because you're the person that I hit it off with most from the team. So seriously, thank you for this. It means a lot to me. And I've never meant this more than I've ever meant it when I say this, and it's always the last words for some fucking reason. I don't know why, because I'm not clever enough to come up with anything on my own. But after hearing this, go fuck yourself, San Diego.